Hi, welcome to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. And I'm Dee, and I have my friend Theta, and she's like my road dog, and I'm so happy you are here. Hi, Theta.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
Yeah, another week, and we're here.
Yes.
And, well, we decided that we're going to just continue with the heart disease because heart disease is so important, and we just kind of touched on it a little bit last week. So, you know, that's our passion. We've been talking about health and wellness, and we have been sharing about all kinds of things, and it's phenomenal. And that's what my education is, my passion, to teach, help people learn about what's going on with their bodies, and to, you know, find healthy alternatives. And, you know, since it's been a long time since I've asked you what your passion was, what's your passion, Theta?
My passion is to aid people, to help them become more spiritual minded, more physical minded, because a lot of us are not in tune with our bodies.
Right,
Also financial.
right.
Unlike people, well, if they would like to, become more financially secure and mentally minded, because a lot of us have different mental stresses that can
Yes.
bring us down. So those four things, I'm trying to elevate myself. So if anyone who wants to come along with the ride with me, hey.
Okay, that sounds real good. I like some of that, so I'll have to implement some of that with me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think we have a lot of similar goals, and that's a good thing. That's why we kind of road dogs there. So I really appreciate you, you know, being very consistent and very reliable and helping me do this show and sharing the information, because the information is so important.
Yes,
you know?
yes it is.
It really is, you know, because right now so many of our people are, you know, just dying, our young people, our old people, and for no reason.
Right.
Because just they don't have the knowledge, and they're just sharing and doing things that they think it's okay, you know, and yeah, it probably would have been if you're in Europe or perhaps in, you know, any other country but the United States, because we believe in all this processed foods and things that are natural and things that, like all the drugs and synthetics and everything that you can add to your foods that's not natural, that your body doesn't really recognize. So you're putting, like you say, if you don't put good fuel in your body, it's no good, you know, you're going to just, you know, break down, and it's like your car, you know, and I think people treat the cars so much better than their bodies, you know, and that's a sad thing, you know, that is so very sad, you know, it's like, oh my gosh. So I was one of them, okay, for a long time, but then, you know, you think you're doing the right thing, and you're actually you know, putting things in that
But if that's all you know,
this is true too.
that's all you're going to take in. If that's what's all around you, the only thing that's around you, you believe that that's what's, you know, correct.
Yeah.
Until you learn, you know, once you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some people don't do better. They just choose to ignore, well, I got to die of something.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true. You're right. They do tell you that.
Sometimes they don't, you know, care to do better.
Well, and then you know what? There's so many things that are out there, and they're advertised to do better, as something better, you know. And then you read the bottom line, you know, because okay, right now we have the vegetables that are frozen, and you have the vegetables in the can, and you have certain foods that are just so overly processed because they have certain things in it, and then you have your GMOs, because the GMOs, and people don't know, people don't realize in terms of the GMOs that these GMOs are not real. You know,
they're genetically modified.
Yes, and so they add them to our food source and make our food source get bigger and grow bigger and do things that they're not naturally doing.
Right.
But, you know, let's just change it a little bit, and it's okay. But
it's not okay.
They found that it was not okay, unfortunately, you know. But and then all the food, the little pesticides that they added. I remember I was reading an article, and there was a guy that it was even before the FDA, and they said that it was actually this one particular gentleman, and he fought to not include certain byproducts, chemicals, because he felt that it was
probably
very
squashed.
harmful. And no, initially it was he was good with it, but they gave him a hard time.
Yeah.
And this is like the early 20s or early, like 1900s. And so the thing was, he finally just like, they wore him down. Okay, they wore him down and said, okay, I'm going to, like, walk away from this position because nobody really wants to hear it. And so someone else came in that had the same mindset of, the chemical companies or what have you, and they were like, oh yeah, that's good, let's use it, and then they realized that it was very much an issue.
Right.
And that's the beginning of all these issues that we
Right.
have.
Right.
So we were talking about heart disease, and they said that close to 1 million or over 1 million people are going to die this year
Or
from
some sort of heart disease.
exactly, and that's kind of in the United States. Now, if you go to Europe or the other countries, Japan, China, what have you, they're not dying of heart disease, because they're doing the right thing and they're feeding their bodies the right things.
Right.
So it's very, very challenging,
Yes, it is.
that we are not doing the right things, So in terms of the food sources, the heart disease, the coronary disease, the strokes, so many different things are just happening at this point and causing so many bad things to happen to our people, our young people.
Right.
Our young people are dying, or having heart attacks at
Such
18, 19,
and 26,
20.
yeah.
It's not good. And every time you have a heart attack, your heart actually dies, part of your heart dies. I have to say, I knew I was going to be coming off of blood pressure. I went to the doctor the other
good.
day.
Congratulations.
And that's part of your heart,
Yes.
your pressure. And they also say the central nervous system, all that, it's all related.
Yes.
But I went to the doctor yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And anyway, we went to the doctor and they did my blood pressure. And I think I was 117 over 70 something.
Okay.
And they were like, you don't need your blood pressure medicine no more. Because I
Beautiful.
actually hadn't been using it since, about a couple of weeks,
Because you're detoxing your body.
Yes.
When you're getting all that toxins out of your body functions better.
Yeah.
And going back with what you're saying on the GMOs, when you think you're doing something good, like for example, today I was eating a watermelon, and then I said I had an aha moment because all the watermelon that I eat, which watermelon is very good for you, the seeds are all white.
Really?
Yeah, all the watermelon that I have had, I happen to, and it's a whole watermelon. All the seeds are white, but back in the day when I was a child, the watermelon seeds were black.
Right.
And so I said, that's something I'm gonna research to find out, because that's like a moment. You think you're doing something good, but it's really, is it something that's not? And another thing that I think of, when people go to, for example, McDonald's, they say, okay, I'm not gonna have the burger, I'm not gonna have the French fries, I'm gonna have a salad.
Right.
When I thought about that, I said, how come the salad looks so beautiful all the time? They have to do something to it. So something's got to be, wrong with it. Even though I'm saying you're going to do something good, but are we doing a double-edged sword or doing something bad?
Yeah.
So that's what, we was talking about the GMOs, and we think we're doing something good when you're obviously doing something that's not so good.
And you're right. And the thing is, I was somewhere, I don't know, actually, I think I was at a seminar or something, and they were talking about the salads. And usually if you're using fresh foods and whole foods without any kind of preservatives or any kind of hormones or any GMOs or what have you, you know, within 24 hours, the salad starts to wilt, it looks
course.
bad, what have you. So all those bag salads, because I love my salad in a bag.
It's
and
easy. It's scored,
you know,
you know.
everything is very easy. But those damn salads in a bag, so, you know,
You have to keep them fresh to get you to you.
Wait a minute, you just think about it. You know, they have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Now, the shelf life, it comes to you how many days later, okay? So there's travel time.
Or
before-
weeks
when
later.
They pick the salad, and then they put it in a bag, and then they send it to you, you know, to your store.
have to
And
keep
then
it
you go
fresh.
to the store, and then you still have like 5 days, you know, of expiration date. The, like you said, the aha moment, you're wondering like, okay, how does those salads stay so
So
fresh when you take a salad that is organic, let's say it's organic, and it's truly has no kind of pesticides, no GMOs, what have you,
Right.
and it's bad within, what, a day
Right, exactly.
or two? Because now you know you're not getting those things even to your grocery stores within a day,
Right.
you know, of being picked, unless you're at the farm and then they bring it right there.
Right,
So,
exactly.
you know, it's kind of like, oh no. So those bags in the salad, I know a friend of mine said, I can't even touch them because she can taste the difference, you know?
Right.
So I guess it's the chemicals
Yeah,
that she, you know,
it
she's
is.
so keen to it that she tastes those chemicals. Me, I was just eating them, you know, and I was like, oh, they're washed, pre-washed, and what have you. And then you kind of, and I'm a microbiologist, so how stupid am I, you know, that I actually allowed myself to just, you know, deal with the hype
Right.
and deal with such bad things. You know?
My husband is literally allergic to those type of chemicals on. So once he bites something, he says, "Oh, I got chemicals." How you? Because my mouth is itching. You know, so we had to get him all, you know.
Right. Well, you know
organic
what?
stuff.
That's a good thing because then
it's
he's
a
a
good thing,
barometer
yeah.
for you, so that you actually can tell what is good and what's not good. You know that.
Right.
You know he's not going to eat anything that's bad for him. So that's
So
and
much
I-
on that note, on the fruits and
On the
vegetable
fruits and
front. We're not
vegetables,
talking
you
about the
know.
other stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
he likes the cookies and all kinds.
Well, yeah.
Stuff we
well,
won't go
that's
there.
the process, you know, and that's what you have to get concerned about because,
Yes.
you know, when you start eating all those, that's one of those things that will cause heart disease, you know? So it's like, okay. So now you have to kind of be very careful of what you're putting in your body because all those processed foods will have you put stress on your body. And we were reading earlier that stress really will mess you up.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it will put
And-
you in the grave.
Yeah, it really, and it will mess in terms of women. Because I know last month was heart
health.
heart disease, you know. But this actually is now we're talking about women's health, women's heart disease, and what have you. So in terms of I think this month is, you know, like wear your red dress. So I'm kind of wearing my red dress, you know, like hello. But it's all about women's health and women's heart health. And they find that a lot of women, you know, exhibit different types of, what's it called? I just went blank. But it actually
We are more susceptible than men
symptoms,
to
the different symptoms,
symptoms.
yeah, and than men, and stress really will mess us up even more than men, you know.
Because we have a higher
internalize.
situation of life. We have the kids, we have the family,
Yeah.
and we have our jobs. So
Right.
and plus, like you said, we internalize things
Yes.
more,
Yes.
and so stress affects us differently
Yes.
than men.
Yes, yes.
You know.
So it's very, very challenging. And then heart disease actually exhibits differently in a woman than a man. Because I know in terms of women, sometimes, you know, well, with men, it's just like, okay, they have pain in the heart or they have pain in the head or what have you. Sometimes that's a stroke. There's different things that's exhibiting. Well, women, sometimes it's just a bellyache.
You're right.
or it'll be something gastric, and it does, you think it's just gas or some kind of, little gastroenteric issue or what have you, but it's actually a heart attack, actually, because
happening.
everything is kind of like there. So it's related, and I was surprised to hear that, but I do know somebody that had that same issue. Their mom ended up in the hospital because they were feeling kind of off,
Okay.
and their belly was hurting and what have you,
And they had a heart attack?
and they ended up having a massive heart attack and dying.
Oh, wow.
Massive, because they weren't looking for it at that point. Whereas I find it kind of sad because they know that we do exhibit different types of
Symptoms.
and why wouldn't they have, put her on a heart monitor and look and make sure, everything
Because
was
usually that's what
going
they do. When you go in the hospital, they put the thing on your finger or something,
Well, she had been there for a couple of days because I know her daughter was living out of state, and so she was coming into New York. Actually, her mom was supposed to be moving out to her in a few days, let's say that week or whatever, end of the week. And at that point, she just felt a little, and she said, well, let me check in to the hospital and just make sure I'm doing, So she was trying to do the right thing. She was listening to her body, but
Did she die in the hospital, or was she
died
really
in the hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, she, her doctor called my girlfriend and was like, your mom just passed. We don't even know what happened at that point. And then ultimately they found that it was heart disease. So it was devastating because
Of course.
you just didn't
Because it has no
expect it.
signs.
No, exactly.
Just goes on.
It's a silent killer. Well, even like blood pressure, because that's part of the circulatory system and the cardiovascular system. So all that, when I actually was put on blood pressure medicine, initially, when my weight was under control, they always said, oh, you would never have any issues with hypertension. And so as my weight started creeping up and my blood pressure numbers started creeping up, all of a sudden they're like, okay, you're on the borderline. Okay, you're a little exceeding. We're going to have to put you on blood pressure medicines. And so ultimately I was on like 3 blood pressure medicines. And,
Wow.
I knew also with the sleep apnea, and that also causes heart, issues because when you're sleeping. So I had a lot of issues because of the weight. So
Right.
that's one of the factors. They say age,
Right.
but you can't really control your age unless you make sure those AGEs are low.
Low,
Okay, and the AGEs are depending on the sugar and the protein. So you have to really, so certain factors you really want to, make sure they're not as prevalent. So age, you want to make sure, okay, even though chronologically you're a certain age, but you want to keep your body as low as possible. And that's what we talk about our machine, and eventually we'll have to, share on that, why that's important, but it's all about the sugar and that protein and what you're putting in your body,
Right.
stressors and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So then you have
Your BMI.
your BMI, which is also that's one of those medical markers. So we're talking, the BMI is what?
Is your, I forgot the name of the fat.
Virtual.
The virtual fat.
Okay,
And
virtual
how
fat.
Your virtual.
Virtual fat. Yeah, you said it right. You're good. It was body mass index. Right? And that's one of those medical markers. There's
Right.
actually, 3 medical markers, although AGEs is our fourth medical marker, which
Right.
has not been established in the United States yet as a true medical marker. But like in Europe, they're
It is.
utilizing it. But at this point, yes, you have your BMI, and they say that if you keep it in a certain level,
Right. It has to be, should be low.
right, or
you
normal.
know,
They
or
say
it's according to your waist, how big your waist is,
Okay.
according to, the levels
okay.
of how much is in your heart.
So
The visceral
visceral
fat.
Oh, visceral fat. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
that's
Okay.
around your heart and in your midriff.
Okay. Well, well, your midriff has gone down, but we're going to talk about that when we come back. We're going to get ready to go to a commercial, so we'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
We're going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Renee Marie. I'm the president of Language of Love Incorporated Foundation. I'm really happy to tell you that we're going to be doing a Language of Love telethon on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please look for the location on my website, ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And the show will be hosted on the Madhouse TV. It really is important for you to be aware of strokes and aphasia. Strokes is the third leading cause of death in America and the first leading cause of disability. And it really is something that plays no favoritism. And it also really comes when you're not expecting. Nobody expects to have a stroke, and nobody expects to suffer from aphasia, and it really does make a huge impact in your life and change your life in one split second. So we look forward to having everyone join us once again on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can follow us on ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. Once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless.
1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the majority of cases aren't reported to the police. Most people who are in an abusive relationship don't even know they're in one. The truth is, all abusive relationships boil down to one thing: control.
How do you like it? My new dress.
Are you out of your mind? You look like a prostitute. We're not going out with you dressed up like that in public.
But what am I supposed to wear?
Wear something decent. You can't wear that out in public. We're going to be late. Get back in there and pick a different outfit. I'm going to go run some errands. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Please be ready, okay?
Fine, I'll change. Fine.
Abuse is not always physical, leaving wounds that are visible on the outside. Emotional abuse is just as painful, only these wounds are hidden on the inside.
Are you out of your mind? You're crazy. You look like a prostitute.
Know that abuse is abuse, no matter what the form.
Look at me.
Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Physical abuse scars the body,
I just wanted to love me.
but mental abuse scars the mind.
What you just saw was an example of a relationship that is emotionally abusive. Nobody has the right to tell you how to dress or how to act. If someone really cares for you, they won't tear you down. They will build you up.
How do you like it?
Wow. You look great. Fantastic. But then again, you look great all the time.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd like it. It's my new dress. I bought it just so we could go out tonight.
You look stunning.
Thank you. But I think I'm going to take a sweater just in case it gets cold tonight.
Great idea. I'm going to take one too. Let's go.
All relationships are not perfect, but a healthy relationship is when two people bring out the best in each other and have each other's good in mind. Take your time to know someone instead of rushing into something. It is better not to involve yourself with an abusive person than to try and get out of a domestic violence situation.
If someone is abusive to you and you need help, please call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. They have highly trained experts available 24/7 who will speak with you confidentially and offer information regarding the unhealthy aspects of your relationship, resources, or immediate support for victims to find safety and live lives free of abuse. Domestic violence affects us all.
It affects us all.
Nos afecta a todos.
It affects us all.
모두에게 영향을 줍니다.
Che ci ricarte tutte.
It affects us all.
Domestic violence.
Hi, welcome back to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and we're going to start. I'm Dee, and there's my friend, and we were talking about the BMI and the midriff
visceral.
and the
Visceral
visceral,
fat.
okay, and the visceral fat, which I still got some, but it's going down.
Yeah.
Yours is kind of gone already. Yeah. It's like all
Almost
gone.
over 15 inches.
15 inches in your
Yes.
belly.
Yes,
in
all
your
around
visceral.
here. Yes.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So no heart disease for you. Okay.
No, not on that front, but,
Okay.
but I can get heart disease from stressing out,
Right.
high stress levels,
Right.
watching, they said more than 7 hours a week for television. So
Yeah. They did a
study on it.
study, right?
Yeah.
And they, for 20 years, they followed some nurses or whatever.
yeah, some nurses.
And they said that there was 6 things that they controlled, and what
And
were
that
they?
was television.
Really?
Television, stress levels, what you're thinking.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Your
some
mind,
mental,
huh?
right.
Yeah, mind is very important. Actually, I had wanted to invite one of my associates. She's a psychoanalyst, and I wanted her to come out, talk about it, because she was like, her heart, she knew that her heart and the mind is all related. So it would have been a real good one. Maybe we'll get her out soon.
Yeah.
What else was the other factor?
The other factor was smoking,
Really?
drinking.
Okay. Well, they said drinking, you could have like maybe 1 glass or less.
Over drinking, they'll say
Right,
over,
yeah.
overdoing
A
it.
day,
Yeah.
only 1 glass or less a day, right? What else was there?
There were 7 of them. Did we name all 7?
Oh, right.
Lack of exercise. Right, at least 2 and a half hours,
right.
at least per week.
Right,
And that's what I'm
right.
working on now.
Okay.
Building my muscle.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
But you told me how much you weigh in now?
I'm 109.
Wow.
My last time, but I'm still, I'm not going this shrinking woman, because I'm going to start to build it so I could look like, I don't want to look like a little man, because my husband will not have that, two men in the house. But
No,
I just want to bulk it up just a little bit,
but you
cut
don't
it.
have to, like
cuts.
when people build muscle, women especially, there's a way that you can still keep your femininity. You don't have to be all like that. So, just work it and make it small little areas. There was this woman, I saw her, she was like 80 or so. And that picture, I don't know whether you saw her, but
My
she looked
cousin,
so good. Oh my God.
Eveline Belton had put it on her page. She was 80 years old. I said, "Wow." So she said, "If you can do it, if she can do it, you can do it."
Yeah, definitely.
So.
She was like, you couldn't even tell that she probably looked like she was about 40. It was amazing, her body. But that type of body and taking all those stressors out of your body, that's where you're not going to have the heart attack. So you really have to really be very, very conscious of what you're doing to your body.
On all fronts.
Yes.
Because I was listening to a report that says, why these people who are active in tennis, active in running, active in doing all kinds of great things, and they die of a heart attack, because they're not implementing the rest of the situations in their life. You're just doing one thing, and letting the other things die. And what are you accomplishing?
Exactly. Well, early grave.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
True.
And I was reading the article that actually there was a very, very good article that Dr. McCullough had did. And he had broke down a whole lot of different things, I know that you read that article too. And it's very interesting. I know I couldn't read as much as possible, but I know we're going to do that. We're going to continue probably next week too, because it's just too much. It's a very broad subject, and I want to really do it justice. Why do a half job and just give half information? So there's a lot of information. We're always giving a lot of information. I know this show is like, whoa, but I think it's phenomenal information that everybody needs to know. So in terms of I was reading in terms of the risk factors, and okay, we talked about age. They also said gender, men versus females, but both of us, women and men, do have the issue,
Of course.
We exhibit it differently, though. I think women it's leading right now more than men,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird. But, you know, also tobacco use, you know, okay, we need to stop smoking, you know. I was a smoker for 30 years, I know. If you watched it before, you know. 30 years I smoked. So I had so many factors, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
But you're getting them corrected.
Yeah, I'm getting it corrected. I haven't smoked in almost 15 years now.
Oh,
Or
congratulations.
maybe longer, I'm not even sure.
That's good.
But yeah, I haven't smoked, and it's a good thing, you know. And things started reversing backwards, and you know, I know that I used to have like gum disease and all kinds of other things, you know.
Wow.
And I don't think I have gum disease anymore, thank goodness. I had very dark gums, and I thought that was hereditary. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay.
Do other people in your family have?
What?
Dark gums, like you said.
I didn't know because my father had dentures, so you know he had lost all his teeth, and so did my mom, my grandma. So I was.
I wasn't saying that it was hereditary,
But that's
it's usually what everybody does in the family.
That was the cigarette smoking,
Right.
You know. So my dad didn't die of actually cigarette smoking or heart disease, but he did die of lung cancer. You know, but he had also kidney disease and hypertension. So, you know, he could have actually gone there, you know, with the heart, but no, the heart was okay at that point, although he did end up dying of, you know, challenges. But another one, okay, like it was said before, physical inactivity. We really do need to have physical inactivity to really say, I mean, we have to have activity in your physical so that we can get stronger. You know, you don't want to go crazy or have you.
No.
Because then you get everything else out of balance. So you have to kind of, you know, moderate activity, a little walking, a little dancing, a little something, you know, and you can build your muscle, you know, and you don't have to go crazy.
No,
but,
right, you don't have to.
But, you know, light weights and, you know, whatever, you know. So then we don't want to do the alcohol, like they said, and then it's also unhealthy diet, and we're all about the diet.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
that's the main thing at this point. So it's like a
healthy
diet.
lifestyle.
Healthy lifestyle you're talking about, you know, let's talk about making sure we get out those processed foods, you know. I love it. I'm so glad. I finally realized what needs to be done, you know, in terms of not having the processed foods anymore, because I thought it was okay, you know. This is what we always knew, you know, that it was all good. But I don't know why you know, I thought it was okay to eat all that stuff.
If it's all, well, first of all, if it's all around you, you've got the TV on, it's all over the television, you walk outside, it's all around you as you walk outside, why wouldn't you think that it's normal? It's like, for example, if you live in a certain area and there's lots of shooting and killing, you just think it's normal. And when you, no, I'm just saying. And then when you hear bullets flying, you're not ducking because you're used to it. Your mind has become lulled to it. Yeah. Where other people, oh, what are you ducking for? This is normal. Right. So we all become lulled to believing that things are normal when you're all around it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, I just, you know, I thought I was eating right.
A lot of us think
oh my gosh,
that.
you know, and then my body just was not working because of the fat. But you know what? And I wanted to talk about angiogenesis, you know, which is all about the coronary vessels, the blood vessels and what have you. You have your capillaries, you have your arteries, you have your veins.
Right.
And, well, that's part of the heart, you know, so the cardiovascular disease and what have you. And if you don't have healthy angiogenesis, which is, you know, your blood flowing properly, that causes heart diseases, you know, and heart diseases and strokes And well, among other things, you know, like with cancer and actually with
They
the
said-
fat
they said
cells and what have you.
upwards of 70 different diseases.
Yes.
When
yeah.
when it's not in
Obesity
balance.
is one of them. Yeah. Well, all of it is because of your body not performing properly. So, you know, angiogenesis is very important. So in terms of the way you will get healthy angiogenesis is putting certain foods, certain supplements into your body. You know, so those natural things like we're talking about, like noni, okay, like soursop. So certain, well, even aloe or turmeric, and you know all those different things.
Natural things from the ground.
Exactly, that will allow your body to start functioning better. You know, your fruits and your vegetables. You know, your antioxidants, the iridoids, all these things that actually really will let you have good heart health. And gosh, you know, so much going on.
I know.
There's so much going on. So we have to really focus on that. And then, okay, another risk factor leads to unhealthy diet is the obesity. So, you know, that's why you have to make sure you work on that, you know, and obesity is rampant right now, you know, the kids and what have you, and that's why they're falling short and they're having heart attacks and because they have too much.
Well, if you think about it, when you're overweight, at least if you're trying to make a couple of steps, it's making your heart work so much harder for you to take those steps.
Right.
And so it's like sometimes I call it, well, it has lost the war. And we don't want our hearts to lose the war because we are putting so much more stress on it.
Well, without your heart, you know.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to die.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
simple and plain. So therefore, you have to take care of your heart.
Yes.
Okay, that's one of those things that you really do need to take care of. You know, your mind and your heart. All that's all related. And if you don't do the right thing, you're going to die.
Yes.
So, you know, hey.
I love
keep it
life.
simple.
I'd rather be above
exactly.
ground.
Exactly. So then they say also what family history, you know, of cardiovascular disease. But, okay, we all know that it's not really genetically predisposed. It's all about what you're eating and
The
what
whole
your family
is where everybody's
you
at
know,
the
it's
table
like,
eating
it's
the
like,
same thing.
Hello, you know, it's like let's eat, you know,
Right.
and have a good time. And basically, that's the reason why the family history is the same for everybody because we're doing the same thing that our family did back in the day. So, you know, although like my grandma, she ate really good. You know, so therefore she lived a really good life and long life and strong life because she did fresh.
Right.
You know, did I do that? No, I didn't. I knew about my mama. She went to the frozen and the cans and, you know, I was like, oh, we think that's okay, you know, and then you look at, you know, like, sodium gluten, what is it,
monosodium glutamate
and all the preservatives, you know.
And nitrates and nitrates and all kinds of stuff like
sulfates
that.
and oh my gosh, you know, and people say they accept it. It's okay, you know. It's like color dye number 5 or a red dye this, and you know.
It's not natural.
No, it's not. And then the pesticides right now, you know, and everybody's like, oh, rice. I'm not eating the brown. I'm not eating the white rice. I'm eating the brown rice now. And I'm like, did you know
It's
that
terrible.
those have arsenic, okay, in it?
Arsenic,
okay.
right,
And what happens is, you know, they don't even advise you to give it to children anymore. And people are like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah. You know, and they think they're doing something healthy.
Right.
You know? But
like the fluoride supposed to be.
Oh my Lord! Let's not even talk about
You know,
that.
it's just that you believe. I'm not going to say who or what. Make you believe that this is what you should be doing.
It's so sad, you know. It's like the chlorine, the fluoride, and then that's my next step. I have to get some kind of filter to eliminate the fluoride in our water because that actually will cause problems with your heart. You know, so it's like, oh gosh, you know, you got to do the right thing. Now, I was all these years I have been using the fluorinated Toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
Oh my gosh. What am I putting in? Chemicals and what have you, and right in my
body.
mouth. And like, pew, here we go.
It goes right into your bloodstream.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. Well, even on your skin.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to concern ourselves what we're going to be putting
That's
on.
what I make my own
skin.
lotion.
You do?
Yes.
What do you do? What are you putting in?
Well, actually, what I do is I go to the Jamaicans. I get the big tub of shea butter.
Okay.
I take half and put it in another tub. I put coconut oil in there. I put some Manoa oil in there.
Manoa oil, what is
It's like, I have to show it to you.
that? Okay.
And I may put mango butter in there.
Really?
And I also put my few drops of my aloe seed, my noni seed oil. I put that in there.
Okay.
And then I go to my kitchen, I take my blender and I blend it and whip it.
Really?
Ooh, makes me feel so delicious.
Really? Well, you have to make something big. You'll
And that's
definitely
what
have to
I
make
use
some.
for
Really?
my yes, that's what I use as my
Okay, well,
lotion.
you know what? You have to make some for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'll pay
Okay.
you. Because that does
Should I
sound,
make-
it
oh, it
probably
smells-
smells good
oh,
too,
yes.
right? Oh my
I
gosh.
love it.
You know, because basically I've just been using the coconut oil,
Coconut
but,
oil,
but you know, maybe that shea I'm missing a little bit, and then it'll give me a little, because I do need to work on a few little areas. You know, you can't see it, but I have.
But you
a
look
few.
good. Your skin
Oh,
looks
thank you.
great. Everything.
Yeah.
You're looking really good.
But I want to get rid of, this is like, I don't know, I say it's genetic, but I see my mama have it and I got it now, so I'm like, oh Lord, I got to get rid of it. So, don't want the little turkey neck. I'm like, oh, okay, let's get rid of it. And then I have this thing here going on, just a little lines, yeah, little fine lines. So I did order, well, we have some phenomenal products that help with it. And so I use that, but then I was like, hey, could use a little something more. And then I still take my shower, so, because they're saying, well, you really shouldn't take that many showers, you know, it's just wash, and you have to go back to old school, because
Right.
you look at my grandmother did take 1 shower a day. No, 1 shower a week, okay? Oh no, not even shower, she took a bath once a week, you know? And she, you know, washed up the rest of the time, you know, just the little areas that you need to be washed and
Wash
what
if
have you every
possible
day.
and not-
And, you know, she never smelled or anything like that, you know.
Well, actually, we are, they say, we're stripping a lot of
Yes.
our good oils off of our skin. And then sometimes the type of soap that we use, you're putting that back into your skin, into your bloodstream. So
Right.
that's,
Well, the
another thing.
antibacterial is really a no-no,
Yeah.
okay? And everybody thinks it's a good thing. But the antibacterial, because you're stripping, you know, your natural flora
flora.
and your bacteria and what have you, and they say no, no, no to that. So you're bad enough you have the fluoride in your water, the chlorine in the water, and now you have an antibacterial that's taking your natural bacteria off your skin and causing more issues. So, oh my gosh. So now also, okay, increased blood pressure. So we talked about that, and hypertension. So we got to definitely work on that, and that's important. So yay, I'm happy. And then the blood sugar. So your diabetes, and you know, more and more people are coming down with diabetes. You know, as an adult, and that also affects the heart, and it's big time bad for heart. So also the cholesterol, and then everybody's like, oh, okay, well, we'll just put everybody on some kind of cholesterol medicine, and those things have so many side effects that, you know, if the cholesterol doesn't kill you, which actually is supposed to have a certain amount of cholesterol. They found out later, oh, well, you know what? It's not that bad to have 200 and something cholesterol levels, you know, 199, depending on your age group. So, you know, they link everybody at the same, but it's not. You know, people have
we also be
different-
individuals.
Yeah, exactly. And they need to treat people individually, and they don't, unfortunately. And then we also have hyperlipidemia, which is like when you have too much lipids in your system. So that's no good. So I think that's the triglycerides and stuff like that. I should know that, right? But anyway, and then they also cause psychosocial factors. So you're talking.
is that with the brain, cycles?
Well, actually, I believe that's like socially issues, you know, like people, you know, causing stress from psychologically, socially unacceptable, I don't know, something. I didn't get into all of the particulars, so we'll have to talk about that next time.
Right.
And then they said also in terms of poverty and education, low educational issues, like if your poverty level will affect your heart or your status of your social status.
Is that
or your
because you're
education.
stressed because you are low poverty level?
I don't think it's that. It's just like, they're saying that, I guess if you are probably less fortunate, But then again, you know what? I heard sometimes, those people that are a little
they may have less stress and,
yeah,
and they're not worried about everything.
It's like life is good,
Right.
They make things do. So maybe, when you have a higher level of influence,
Right.
You have more stress. So, I guess your poverty or your social level is what influences you, and then your educational level. So maybe sometimes when you know too much, you have more stress
Right.
and issues too. And then also air pollution.
Oh, air pollution is a killer. The smog goes right into your lungs.
And your heart, and
it's
then
not
your
good.
pulmonary
Edema.
and vascular disease. All that is all included too, because even though you have your heart and you have heart disease, you have pulmonary disease too. So it's just so many risk factors. So you have to be very, very, very careful on what you're doing, and how you treat your body and what. So,
You know what else I found that was interesting in that article? It talked about the ibuprofen and the aspirin, which for me, knew that it bothers your stomach in some way.
Right.
But it also said it hurts your heart.
Right. And everybody's like, oh, take an aspirin a day, or whenever you have, what's it called?
And it said for heart, right?
Yeah. But now, that particular article did say that would cause increased heart
attack.
disease. I'm like, oh my. So ibuprofen, aspirin, and there was one other thing.
What the other thing
I
was.
know, I forgot too.
Let me just allow me to just peek.
I was like, wow, and then they talked about the statins, which a lot of the statins are with blood pressure, and those statins, they said, is really, really bad, and causing
Like
a lot
statin
of
drugs.
Yeah, and it's causing a lot of people to die. More, you're taking them, but we know, that all these drugs are causing issues, and the side effects, and so it's like if you can find something natural,
Yes.
to take. That you take once a day, twice a day, or whatever, to keep yourself in balance.
Right.
And it works. And so you can get off the drugs. And that's what I've done. And I'm like, I am now drug-free, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I
You mean
used to
prescription free? Let's not say. I mean, even though it is drugs.
No, drug-free.
Okay.
Prescription
Free.
drugs.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because some people, we don't know what people be thinking.
Okay. I got you. So, okay.
Yeah.
Prescriptive
Just to keep-
drugs free. Okay.
Right, to keep
So I
people
am no
from
longer.
thinking
Well, yeah. I'm drug free. I don't do any of that.
Right,
either,
of course.
But okay. Okay. You're making my life complicated right now. But the thing is, at this point, yes, I do not have any drugs in my life anymore.
Beautiful.
So
Congratulations.
thank you so much.
That is great.
And I guess I should go. I haven't used my sleep apnea machine in so long, But maybe I should go and get tested again and see whether I still have it or not. But hopefully, I don't think so, because
What
I'm
does
not
sleep
waking up.
apnea do, and what is it about?
Causes a lot of issues with your heart, because what's happening is they found that your heart, you actually stop breathing, so therefore you're not getting the oxygen
in your system.
Yeah, into your system. That so you stop breathing, so your heart stops, and you're creating a challenge. You can actually die from it. So when I was at my top weight, I had been diagnosed with sleep apnea. So they gave me a, a CPAP machine, which I used for quite a while. And it did make me sleep a lot better, because what happened was when you have sleep apnea, you don't have a good restful sleep. You
And you're
really
up
don't.
all of a sudden,
You're
you keep waking up?
You wake up, constantly, because what happens is when you stop sleeping, you kind of just like, oh gosh, it's like, it just like wakes you up, because when you stop breathing, now you're kind of...
Your body said, get up, get up.
Yeah, it's like, you need to, like wake yourself up so that you will start to breathe again.
Not to be uncomfortable, but for anybody, any of the viewers, does that have anything to do with crib death? Because they said that babies stop breathing while they're sleeping?
It's a possibility, because you know what? They never really determined why crib death happens. So who knows? It's a possibility. I never even thought about it, but yeah, why not? It's like, because you hear some of these babies and these children, they sleep really bad too. So who knows what's going on with their breathing, So, and that's all.
Could be. Okay.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Who knows? But it's a possibility for sure.
Wow.
It's definitely a possibility. So you kind of have to be aware, especially with the babies too. Because at this point they're putting in so many different things, and it's so okay. So the thing is, you have to be careful what you're feeding the babies, with the milks and what have you,
And the baby food.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah. My mother wouldn't even feed us baby. She gave us regular vegetables and grind it up.
And you know what? That's how you should do it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, at this point, okay, you got to do organic milk for the babies, Why are you going to give them...
breastfeeding.
Or
I would say breastfeed those babies
yeah.
until you can't take it anymore, and then you...
Well, I know some folks that breastfed until they were like 4 or 5 years old,
Wow.
Like, I was at a restaurant the other day, and the baby was only 5 months old. I saw a couple, and the baby was so cute. And so they were feeding them like what they had, which I think it was pancakes or some kind of crap. And I was like, I was a little horrified, yeah. But you know what? The baby actually spit it out. So it's like, okay,
the baby can't take that.
Exactly.
I mean, what are you doing?
Well, you're going to start them on sugar, and that's affecting the heart.
You're right.
Okay? So I'm like, oh my gosh, why would you put that crap into that baby? So not cool, But that's what they did. I just sat back, and my girlfriend was sitting there, and they were just like horrified, truly horrified,
I'm horrified, and I didn't see it.
It was
It's hard for me to eat pancakes now. After going through that, has to be some serious, maybe one this small, maybe if that, but no.
Well,
I can't even, I can't even do myself. No.
Yeah. Well, I know. It's like, you gotta be so... I couldn't believe it. I don't even know whether it was a pancake or it was just some kind of something. I don't know what it was, but it had a lot of whipped cream on it, and I don't know. It was all fake. And that baby spit it up, and I was glad. I was like, thank you for spitting it out, because don't feed her no more. But that's what's happening. Our people don't know better. When you don't know, you can't do better, okay? Simple and plain. So...
Pretty scary.
Yeah. So we're going to be cutting this off soon. And tomorrow, actually, I'm going to a health fair.
Oh, great.
Yes, I'll be at a health fair over in Freeport. And it's an all-day affair. It's from 11 to 4. And there's going to be, we're going to be screening. We're going to be using this machine here.
Okay.
We're going to have 2 of them. And it's over at the Freeport Recreation Center. And there's also an event at the Jacob Javits Fest.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. I won't be there, unfortunately. And I don't know whether any of our team is going to be there.
And what is that
Any-
about?
That's going to be diabetes, and that's an important event also. So,
Okay.
you know, you all need to go out to one of our events. And I know they're going to be doing in Freeport, they're going to be doing free screening, mammographies. They're going to be doing blood donations. They're going to be doing a whole lot of different things. So, you know, some worthwhile things going to be going on. So, you know, and I'll be there. So, you know, you come out and see us and you know, it's your true age, find out your internal age and see what we're doing, you know. That would be so cool. So
Sounds
you have to
beautiful.
come out too. Maybe you'll come out and hang out with us for a little bit too. Yeah, so that'd be good. But so we're gonna wrap up another week, and thank you again for being my buddy, my road dog. And we'll come back next week and do it all again. And hey, passion for life with Dee and friends. So see you next week.
Good night, everybody.